Welcome to the Bass and Brews podcast, your weekly distraction from other high-quality podcasts.
No more talking.
And now, your host, Alex from Swamp Rat Fishing, and the co-hostess with the mostest, the Jabberhammer, Paul Roberts.
Look at you done fucked it up. You got the please stand by still there. Hey, in the great words of Sean Connery, look at our guest is even leading this shit. In the great words of Sean Connery from Saturday Night Live, go fuck yourself, Trebek.
What is up, everybody? It's Friday. You know what that means? That means that it's Bass and Brews time, your weekly distraction from high-quality podcasts. I got another catchphrase. The catchphrase is, those who can't fish teach people to fish. And those people who can't teach people to fish become hosts on the Bass and Brews. And that's why myself and Paul are here. We've got another hammer. We've got Chris on the show today. How are you, bud?
Good, brother. Good, man. How are y'all?
Pretty good. I'd be a lot better if Paul wasn't so fucking sassy already. We're like a minute and a half into this, and he's just some fucking little pissy pants already.
Right. Already talking
Hey,
shit.
You know what? Nobody asked you. Nobody asked you for your.
He did. He asked me. Maybe if you were paying attention and not looking at fucking ticky tacks on your phone when we're trying to record.
I wasn't looking on ticky tack, but I'll tell you this. I got to give a shout out real quick before we get any further into this. We had a tournament on McIntosh Lake this past Saturday, and it was a shit show. Like my kayak had everything in it from Santee. My rods were in my truck until Wednesday of last week, and I took them out, then had to put them right back in on Friday. Like, I didn't retie shit. I mean, I just threw the shit in there Friday night, the kayak, everything. And it was a fucking shit show. You can't even see the bottom. Anyway, I roll up to the ramp. I'm second there, but I'm first through the gate. And I get up there, and this lake doesn't accept credit cards or checks. And so it's $5 to get in. I'm like, I walk up, I'm like, fuck, there's three of us standing. I'm like, fuck, I don't have any damn money. And this guy goes, I got you, man. I got you. And gives me the $5 and get in. Anyway, his name was Sean Boersman from Virginia. Came down to fish that tournament. And I want to give a shout out to Sean Boersman. Boersma, sorry. I know there wasn't no N at the end of it. Sean Boers, I want to give a shout out and thank him for loaning me the $5. And Sean, if you're listening to this podcast, accept the damn Apple Pay, please. Don't leave me out here owing you money.
Also, Sean, get in touch with Paul. I'll send you some stickers for helping Paul's broke ass out on getting onto the water. That's pretty badass.
I wasn't broke. I was stupid because only like I didn't see the captain's meeting, but the captain's meeting, there were at least two posts about bring $5, bring $5. My dumbass showed up. I probably had enough change in $5, but it was mostly pennies, nickels, and maybe a quarter or two.
You know, the way you said that suggested that you had a checkbook as well. Do you carry a checkbook, Paul?
Matter of fact, I keep a checkbook in my truck just in case.
In case Jeez. What? You become fucking 80 years old and you got to go to the grocery store? Who the fuck uses a checkbook? Like, I understand one for your business, but not for your personal life. Who the fuck goes to 7-Eleven and says, let me get a hot dog and a slushie? What do I make that out to? 7-Eleven?
Every now and again.
The asshole that I get behind every morning. That's who.
That's it right there.
Every now and again, I leave the house without my wallet. And if I got to pay for something, I always got the backup there.
You have your phone.
Not everybody in fucking North Carolina takes a phone app payment, Alex. We're not all rich like you New Jerseyans. We don't pretend to be rich like y'all.
All right.
The Walmart by my house doesn't even have the tap to pay, so
I don't know. The Walmarts do. Yeah.
Walmart doesn't do tap to pay. That's why you got to go to Target, bro. You got to get that step up life. You know what I mean?
See, Chris, we po people, we peasants compared to Alex. This man when this man needs something, he goes to Target and pays $18. You know, we ride around for 2 hours looking for a deal.
My wife shops at the Red Circle Boutique, aka Target, the Red Circle Boutique.
Mm-hmm. Is your wife the same as mine? Like, we have this game, and it's like, I'm like, Mandy, can you try not to spend $100 when you said you had to get 3 things and you went into Target? And she comes out with like 9 fucking bags. Like, I see all the memes about it, and I'm like, you're a fucking walking meme. You go in there for 3 things. You're like, oh, I'm just gonna run in, and you come back.
Yours
with
only
way
spends
more.
100.
Well, like, that's the minimum. When she says she needs 3 items, she's like, we need toilet paper, a towel, and shampoo, and she comes out with like 4 bags full of shit.
Dude,
It's insane.
My wife can't go to Target without buying $300 worth of shit. So.
It's fucking insane there.
See, I'm y'all's wives. When I go into a store, I purposely don't get a basket or a shopping cart because I'll fill it up.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is I'm walking through the store, bear hugging $100 worth of shit, dropping it everywhere. People like, do you need help? No, I'm like, no, I got it. Just here, pick that up and put it under my chin.
I'm just
hold on. I look like that fat ass mouse from Cinderella when he was stacking the corn all up underneath his chin, but that's what the fuck I look like when I go in the store. I look like that fat ass mouse from Cinderella.
All right, Brewskis, let's make that meme happen. I want to see that out there. I want to see Paul's face on that. I believe that mouse's name was like Philippe. I want to see his face on Philippe's fucking body.
Hambone, if you're listening, let's see that.
Put that shit on a t-shirt. I'll buy one.
Oh man, we've got I'm talking to a friend right now, and they're working out posters for the back here of the Twins. The Twins movie poster with me and Paul.
Oh, that would be
amazing. Oh, no, Paul, I'm getting 2 made. We're going to send one down to your place, and it's going to be fucking glorious. That's like awesome. My favorite.
The Twins one were awesome. That TikTok that I posted yesterday, though, with the short guy on the ladder with the other guys carrying him.
Fuck you, Paul. Fuck you, Paul. All right, enough bickering for now.
Hey, speaking of that, hold on. Paul's starting with the short jokes. So
yeah,
I've always wondered. I listen to every show. Paul, how fucking tall are you?
6'9".
No,
you're
he's
full of
6 foot.
I don't want to hear your high school fucking depth chart height. I want your real like at the fucking doctor's office.
6'1".
6'1". Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a whole foot taller than Alex.
Alex, how
You're
tall
not.
are you?
I'm 5'11". No, I'm not. No, I'm like 5'8" on a good day.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm short. It's fine.
Well, I'm somewhere between 5'9" and 5'10", and don't let my brother fool you. That motherfucker's 5'6" on a good day. So you can make short jokes about him now too.
Yeah. See, I thought he was a shorty too, but I wasn't 100% sure. And for some reason, it's never come up. And for y'all that when we say
swears
his
he's
brother,
5'8",
we say his brother. This is so we have the semi-professional podcaster Chris Turner on with us tonight, but he is the professional angler out of the brother duo of Chris and Drew Turner. And y'all know Drew because Drew's been on here quite a few times. He's the professional podcaster of the Paddler's Playbook, but the semi-professional angler.
That's right.
Yeah, like I said, those who can't fish or teach, they host podcasts.
That's right.
Yeah.
And surround themselves with people who can fish.
Hey, though, I will say, last tournament that we just fished, man, he did catch the bigger fish. So
yeah, but he brought it. He brought it with him. I heard he brought it in a cooler, hooked that bitch through the mouth, and threw it out there, and made a whole shindig on it.
Yeah,
it already been gutted too.
Everybody's like, that's like 9 rainbow trout sticks together. What the fuck? All right, man. Tell us how you got to be on Bass and Brews.
I fucking asked Paul. I don't know, man. I don't even know how I got here, dude.
No, I mean, like your journey through fishing.
Well, here, Alex is still fucking this up. I've let it fly the last few weeks. The question is, what's the journey that has brought you to where we are today? Fishing.
Man, you know, I've fished my whole life, just like anybody else. You know what I mean? Fishing with dad, and going down and bank fishing, that kind of thing. And then that kind of progressed in high school to knowing buddies that had boats and camp houses and things like that. And eventually had kids and kind of got out of it for a little while. And then I got back into it hard when my brother started the podcast, man, and started, meeting the guys that are fishing the tournaments and the sponsored guys and that kind of thing, and rubbing elbows with them. And I just thought it was kind of cool. And man, when I dive into something, man, if anybody that knows me, I dive in hard. I mean, fucking hard. Like you can, if I turn this camera around, I've probably got, a couple $1,000s worth of baits and shit just hanging on the wall just because I think they look cool. And I thought I fucking needed them. I don't need any of this, half of this shit, but
you should probably thank your brother for that too. Hey man, you got to buy this. You got to buy this when he's getting it shit for free.
That's how I got that kayak back there.
Oh, shit.
Him talking me into it.
No, Alex, he didn't get it for free. Drew
I thought
you meant you got. Oh yeah, let me go buy this.
Who's older, Drew or you?
Drew.
Oh, so it was the big brother mode. He was like, "Listen here, you little shit. You need to get this fucking kayak to me in the cool kids group."
When Drew,
I was in a Hobie, and he talked me into switching over to Old Town, and then I got on the Old Town pro staff with a retailer. So.
All right, just a little mid flex there. I like that. Just throwing it out there.
Dude, it's not all it's cracked up to be, man. It's really not.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you what I told Eric last week on the Amazon fishing. Save some pussy for the rest of us. All right, dude. We get it. All right, Old Town. You're a pro staff member. You have trophies everywhere. You got a stack of batteries.
Literally a whole stack of batteries. Like he's got the corn that the rat and Cinderella is, except it's not corn, it's batteries.
Hell yeah.
Lithium batteries.
Hell yeah, man. I've got to have them for every boat, man. I've got 2 boats. I got to have enough batteries where I don't have to swap them all around and shit all the time.
Hambone and Wolf of Walmart. Make sure to add those batteries into that picture. So what do you primarily fish for our guests if they're not familiar with you?
Just redfish, man. Pretty much strictly redfish. I'll fart around every now and then and go for some greenfish, but it's like once in a blue moon kind of thing. And I'll catch trout and flounder and other saltwater species on accident, just by default as a bycatch. But typically I'm mostly targeting redfish primarily. I do a little bit of trout fishing, but mostly night fishing. So I don't really do it real seriously. The night fishing's like, fish in a barrel kind of thing. If you can find a light with some fish in it, you can throw a friggin', tab off a Coke can in there and catch a fish,
And by trout, you mean sea trout or wheat fish, right?
Yeah.
Speckled.
Speckled sea trout. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And where are you at in the country?
South Texas on the Gulf Coast.
Man, you can really tell your brother's better than you. It took a lot to get your name, what you fish for, and where you fucking live.
I'm not the most outgoing dude like my brother is, man. I'll open up and I'll talk a little noise, but you got to get me. You got to get me going, brother.
All right, so Chris is asking for more foreplay. I got it.
Give it a little tickle.
Tickle.
Little tickle.
When you grew up fishing as a kid, was it for saltwater fish or was that all fresh?
Dude, it was whatever we could get our hands on, man. Like I said, I had several different buddies that some of them guide now, some of them moved on to different things, but man, it was a lot of noodling, not noodling like with your arm, like noodles, like jug lines.
The pansy noodles.
Noodle
pansy
lines.
Noodles.
Yeah. Running. And we would, man, I had a buddy of mine in high school that had dude, I don't even know what kind of, it was like a freaking aluminum canoe, like a 17, I mean, it was huge, big ass fucking canoe. And we get 3 of us in there. We'd go down, get us a 30-pack of Keystone and just run up and down the creek all day long. I mean, 12, 14-hour days, just catching gar and catfish and whatever we could. But the law is, so where we're at, it turns brackish, right?
Mhm.
So where my buddy's camp was, as long as we were north of the bridge, we could run the noodle lines. South of the bridge was considered brackish, so you couldn't run any noodle lines south of the bridge. But we definitely went south of the bridge a few times. I think what statute of limitations is up on that one.
You're safe. You're safe.
Look,
yeah.
ain't no law abiding citizen listening to this podcast.
No, not at all. Not at
There's
all.
got to be. There's got to be at least one. There's got to be one fish and wildlife guy who just fucking hates his job, and that's why he listens to this, because he's like, fuck these people. Like, he listens to it out of spite.
Yeah. I listen to it. I'm just constantly driving around all day, so that's all I fucking do is listen to podcasts.
Well, I'm glad that we could be a distraction. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, tell me
distraction
this.
from quality
no shit
podcast content.
Hey, our mantra for this year is we're going to be a fishing podcast that does an episode not talking about fishing pretty much the whole time, and we've done a good job
fucking
of
time.
that so far.
Yeah. I think last week was the most about fishing, but that was fishing the Amazon River.
Yeah, so we had to talk about fishing because that shit was cool as hell.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me this: do you ever get out? Do y'all have like tarpon or any of those big seaworthy fish out there? Do you ever go offshore in your kayak and fish for any saltwater stuff, sharks or anything like that?
Fuck no. Not no, but fuck no.
That's a hard no.
Hard, super hard no for me, man. Dude. It's not that I'm scared. It's, dude, that shit's sketchy, man. It's just sketchy, dude. And I don't want to work that fucking hard. Like, if I'm in the marsh, dude, and I don't want to fucking paddle no more, like, it's no big fucking deal. Like, I can just sit there and just hang out and I'll fucking continue on my way. But if I'm working against currents and tides and all this shit and I'm miles offshore and I stop, like, you're not taking no fucking breaks, bro. Like,
So what you saying the offshore game isn't fat person friendly?
No, definitely not. Definitely, I wouldn't say it's not fat person friendly. I mean, I'm in some Facebook groups, and there's some not shapely people that do it. But
well, do you know why they do it? It's because they've got their kayaks rigged out with Z Pro batteries for all your power needs.
That's
right.
Go
offshore.
That's right. Yeah, no, man, I'm not. I don't do the offshore stuff, man. It's just like I said, it's just too much work, dude. You're gonna pedal like 3-4 miles before you ever cast a line just to get to the oil platforms or whatever. Like it just doesn't sound appealing to me, man.
For me, I think the worst is I see the guys that'll do it. They they do the surf launches here all the time, so they'll park in the parking lot. And I'll be fishing like the jetty, and I see these fucks, and they've got to walk like 200 yards with this fucking fully rigged Hobie Pro angler, like dragging this bitch across the beach, and some drunk Karen and somebody from fucking South Philly who's vomiting into their kid's stroller before they even get to the water, and then they got to push past the surf. My favorite is watching them get all loaded up, think they're good, start heading out, and instantly flipping the breakers. It's like my favorite thing to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that, dude. Like I say, if like the y'all ever watch Robert Field on YouTube? He does the Los Buzos guides out there. Like I would do that. If you're gonna mothership my fat ass out there and then take me back, hell yeah, I'm all about it. Let's go catch some fish. But
Paul, that was the guy I was trying to talk about last week. I couldn't remember his name.
Okay.
He was the one that does the mothership where they drag all the fucking kayaks out, and then you go catch a shit ton of like these rooster fish, and it looks fucking epic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Los Buzos.
Hey, I'm all for getting towed somewhere now. Don't threaten me with not having to pedal my fat ass around.
I wonder if I could find. Hold on. I wonder if I could find an overweight community, right? And then I'll run like a Ceto business, but I'll call it Sea Cow.
Yeah.
And I just tow fat people in fucking kayaks, and then I go pick them up later, kind of like Uber.
They don't have to be fat. They can be fat and or lazy. You
No,
you can do both.
Correct.
You just
Nope.
want the big ones.
I just want the big ones because honestly, they're gonna have extra money to pay the prices because what are they gonna buy it on? Like,
Food.
yeah, but they're eating Walmart food. Like, you don't get that big eating at Whole Foods. You know what I mean?
Look, I'll tell you this.
It's another $1 million idea. You're welcome, internet.
As a hefty kayak angler, sometimes I'm just like, why the fuck did I go this far? Why? but you know, I want to try to catch some fish.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Oh, I love that dead air. That's like my favorite now. Yeah.
We ruined his story. I don't even know where to go with this. I have two things, but the first thing, so we talked about big fish and sharks. You're still in gator country down there. Do you run across any big gators? How does that work where you are? Have you had any encounters with any gators down in the marsh?
Dude, I had an encounter maybe a month or so ago, when the gators, first started coming back out. Dude, I come first that we fished, it's literally Gator City. I mean, during summer when it's nice and warm, there's gators all over the freaking place. And in this particular area around this particular bend, there's a big son of a bitch that sits there. He's probably, I don't know, I would say 9-10 foot, really decent size game. Anyway, so I go out there and I'm just having a shit day. If anybody follows me on Facebook or whatever, it was the same morning that I lost the hub on my fucking trailer that morning. I posted the pictures. Just greased it the night before and lost the hub. So we'll do the full story. So I lose the hub on the trailer at like 4:30 in the morning. It's dark outside. I'm like a mile from an exit when I lose my fucking hub, and I look around me and there's nobody around, and I'm just like, you know what, like, fuck it, I'm just gonna drag this son of a bitch. Like, I was doing 80 anyway. Like, this axle was toast. So I dragged that bitch into Buc-ee's that morning. I waited around for the tow truck till like it's 7:30. Tow truck finally gets there. I get back on the road about 8. Get on the water at like 9 o'clock, right? I got my GoPro set up, all this shit. And then here comes the fucking wind. And I'm fucking with my GoPro, and I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing and where I'm at. Like I said, this gator, he's in the same area every time. He hangs out in the same area, and I'm not paying attention to where I'm at. And the wind's kind of blowing me up against the fucking shoreline, and I'm fucking with my GoPro, and then I sit back down. And I didn't get this recorded either. I was fucking turning the GoPro off and on, and I didn't get it recorded. But anyway, I come around this corner, man, where this fucking gator's at, and I don't see him. He don't see me. And I mean, no shit, I am 2 feet away from this dude when we lock eyes with each other. And this motherfucker threw a wake so big, I mean, about flipped me out of the kayak. I'm covered in just mud, grass, all sorts of shit. Scared the living shit out of me. I thought he was gonna flip me over. I know he's not gonna eat me. Like, I'm comfortable enough around him.
Famous last words. They're not gonna eat me.
No, man. The gators ain't gonna fuck with you, dude. Gators ain't
gonna
fuck with you.
Tell that lady in Florida a month ago who got dragged in.
Where did she get? What the fuck was she doing?
She was at a senior citizen's home, and she was walking with their dog around this pond in Florida.
There you go. You said the fucking dog. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah.
Dude, the video's the best.
It's crazy, man. It sucks.
The video's the best. Yeah. As like the dog's real close to the water, and this gator comes up, and you could tell the gator came up to get the dog.
Well, yeah, you can see the gator coming from like halfway in the pond. You see it. I mean, with the video, it's hard for us to tell distance, but it was a ways off that this gator was coming halfway in the pond. I mean, beeline and wake, and it's coming to eat. It misses the dog.
I don't think it missed the dog, dude.
No, I think it did.
I think it
if you
popped
watch
up. I watched it. I think it popped up, saw the dog, and said, "Fuck that! I want my slow cooked grandma over there, and went for
No,
her instead.
it missed the dog on the initial approach, and then like the dog backed up a little bit, and it went again, and the video cuts off. Obviously, I'm not going to show that, and you can just imagine what happened next. But anyway, yeah, it was a sad situation. But that's again being aware of your surroundings, because the gator ain't going to eat you until it does.
No,
I
man.
mean, that's how it goes sometimes. But
Them marsh gators ain't messing with nobody, dude. It's just like anything else. Snakes, any animal, just leave them the fuck alone. They'll leave you alone, man.
well,
Stay
it's like
away
saying,
from them.
yeah, it's like Santee. You need to be more worried about the red wasp at Santee than you
Let me
do
tell you.
an alligator or a damn snake, because the
You-
red wasp are relentless and they will tear your ass up.
Did you want to know what I'm terrified of? The
What's
one
that?
thing in this world that I'm fucking terrified of.
Your
Paul
wife.
with his
Red
pants off.
Fucking wasp. Red wasp,
Yeah.
dude. Red wasp. I'll tell you what. I was like 7 years old. I'm at a friend of my mom's house, and I'm catching frogs, right? And this fucking tree frog jumps up underneath the skirt of this trailer. And I reach up in there to grab it, and I grab the biggest red wasp nest that you've ever seen in your entire life, dude. I got hit like 80 fucking times at 7 years old. And now to this day, I swear to God, if a red wasp was to fly in this garage right now, I'm gone.
You ain't even trying to kill it. You're
Forget
just
about
done.
it. I'm
Out.
out of here. I'm done. I'm done, dude. I was on a ladder the other day. I was standing there talking to a customer on a ladder, and the damn red wasp come. I jumped off. I'm out of here. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, you didn't see that wasp?
That's always real good for your business when you run around like a lady with her hair on fire because of a wasp. Yeah,
Dude, I'm telling you,
Oh,
I'm
movie was it?
terrified of those things.
What movie was it? Shit, I'm trying to think.
where the kid died from beads. That was My Girl. Are you saying that he was almost Macaulay Culkin from My Girl?
My girl.
No, that's not. That is a good analogy. That is not what I was thinking. But those weren't bees; those were hornets. And a matter of fact, it was a poor representation of hornets at that. But anyway,
Oh, I forgot, Mr. Amateur fucking beekeeper over here.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you're gonna understand the animals that you have as pets, you have to understand them.
Hey, I don't want to derail this. Yeah, I do. Hey, what week are we of the grip stick being up in the background and still not getting used? How many weeks is it now?
Whenever the classic was.
You're
now
one.
it's a marketing prop, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping that if you would start tagging grip sticks, that maybe we would get a sponsorship, since it's sitting in the background. It's better than anything I got. Nothing in this background besides I have in the background of people that could sponsor us.
I just fucking realized what that was.
I have the grip sticks, then I have
his
I had
fucking
the wrap.
lint roller thing that he bought.
Yeah.
Yep. It's still up there. His
That's
wife
what
still.
it is.
Yeah, he bought it for his wife, and she said, "Go fuck yourself,
They
Paul."
sell
And it's
those
still,
things- they
dude, it's
sell
still sitting up there,
those-
wrapped up. It has not been
I-
used.
the-
we got a
the-
hand one, a small one. I use it on the dog and the cat all the time. But besides the grip stick, the only other thing that we could get sponsored with on this are the wrap snacks. And today I have the wrap snacks. Ooh-wee, wavy with little dirt. It's the buttermilk ranch.
What the fuck did you just say? I didn't get any of those words. You went full hillbilly again.
So Chris, tell us about fishing for redfish. Fuck Alex and his
What
dumb
a
shit. We ain't
segue.
talking about that.
What a fucking segue.
Tell us about redfish. We've had some saltwater anglers on here, obviously your brother, but I don't think we've really ever dived into, maybe a long time ago, into saltwater fishing. So I'm here in North Carolina. We got a big redfish community on the coast of North Carolina. We hear that they're big dumb bass, but they're just in saltwater.
false fucking
what it-
advertisement, man.
Okay, so
Oh.
tell us about fishing for redfish, man. What do I need to do, or Alex needs to do, if we want to go start catching some redfish this weekend, what's the
Move.
basic shit we got to have?
So, contrary to popular belief, man, you don't really need anything different than what you're using right now.
So it's
you
a big
can-
dumb bass.
It's a big dumb bass, I guess. I mean, bass are fucking stupid too, right? I mean, they're
Mhm.
fucking worms and shit. I mean, but red fishing, man, it's a totally it's more hunting than it is fishing, right? What we're doing in the areas that we're fishing in 1 foot, 2 foot of water, you know what I mean? And our tide swings around here, as opposed to up there where you guys are at, our tide swings down here are very small, right? So we're only talking like a 6-inch tide drop, you know what I mean? So we're consistently fishing between, I'd say, 1 and 3 foot. You know what I mean? And then there's some pockets here and there in the channels and things like that, just depending on how you're fishing that day. But you know, red fishing's more stalking than it is sitting somewhere fishing. You're not sitting on top of a piece of structure. You're not looking for piles of fucking trees in the bottom of the lake and the kind of things that I assume that's what bass guys do. I mean, I see it on TV.
Some guys.
I seen it on TV a couple times.
So you're doing a lot of sight fishing too.
Yeah. 90% of what we do, I would say, I would consider it sight fishing. Now, there are some other anglers down here that have different opinions, including my brother, of what the definition of sight fishing actually is. To me, sight fishing is if I see sign of the fish and I throw in that area and I catch the fucking fish, that's a sight cast.
What do you mean
fish.
signs of the fish?
So when I come into a marsh area, right, and I'm looking around, right, and I'm looking for what I would call nervous bait, right? You'll see like small ripples on top of the water. You'll see small shrimp. If there's a shrimp hatch, you'll see a lot of little small shrimp, and the shrimp give you a really good indicator of what species of fish is chasing them as well, based on the shape of the jump, if that makes sense. So like if a redfish is chasing them, if you can't see the redfish, right, if it's in a little bit deeper water and you can't see the redfish, they'll scatter like straight out, right? Because the redfish is coming from behind them and they're coming straight out and they're pushing them and they're kind of going in a V pattern almost, but also straightforward. Whereas if it's a flounder, right, you're going to see them jump straight up. Like it's just going to be like a circle. You'll see a ripple that's a circle, and then the bait will just jump straight up. So, I mean, there's a lot of different things that you learn over time, right? Just like reading your graphs and stuff. Like I can't read a graph to save my life, and I know you guys don't really do much electronics either.
I do.
No, Paul does. I don't have one at all on my kayak.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I didn't think Paul did either, but
well, Paul doesn't catch fish. He uses electronics, but he still can't catch fish.
Hey, you know what? At least I get around them. I just can't catch them.
But,
hey, can you go get a whiteboard and draw a diagram of what you just described to us, Chris?
No, absolutely not. I could show you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those who can't explain it can show you in the marsh, I guess.
All right, so you're not exactly seeing the fish, but what you are seeing is something that kind of alerts you to their presence in the area, and you're using bait to be able to figure that out, right?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
I'm using bait. I'm using water movement.
Yep.
The size of the wake, the shape of the wake. Also, if I'm in areas that are clear enough and I spook a fish, right, you can look at the shape of the mud puff and determine what species of fish that was. So I can look at the shape of the mud puff that comes out and say, oh, that was a mullet. I can look at a mud puff and see that it's 1, 2, 3 mud puffs right after another, right? That's going to tell me that's a flounder. He's picking up, setting down, picking up, setting down, picking up, setting down, right? And same with a redfish, right? If it's a big mud puff and it's just a linear straight path, most likely that's a redfish. Redfish are like little torpedoes, you know, they take off straight. So there's a lot more that goes into it to find the fish and to make them eat than I think a lot of the bass guys really give it credit for. They think, oh yeah, I went down to Gulf Shores and I threw on some dead shrimp and we caught them. You know, dead fish are dumb. You know, I like to see those guys come out on a tournament day and get their ass kicked in the marsh. You know, trying to hunt some redfish. You know.
So on that, tell me this: how do you? So in bass fishing, we're looking for structure, and that's the contours. You know, we're looking for main lake points. We're looking for points, and then on those points, we're looking for the rock piles. We're looking for the brush piles. How are you determining an area where you think the fish are going to be? Are you using any kind of contour mapping on that, or how does that work? How do you find an area where say I think the fish should be here today?
So it's kind of similar to, I think, how bass guys determine, like on a new lake, you'll go back and you'll look at like the 50s or something, or when the lake was built, and you'll find like the old creek beds and the old channels that were there before it got dammed up, right? So when I'm looking at all these different lakes that are interconnected, right? And then there's defined channels all throughout these lakes, and that's typically where I'm targeting fish. It's just a theory that I have. I've won tournaments, I've caught fish, so I guess it's proven. Some people would disagree with me, but I like to find the areas, to me, that I call like the redfish highways. Like it would make sense that they would swim in this way and they would come and they would hunt this area, and then they'll move out and they'll go to this lake, and then they'll go to this lake, and then they'll come back around, and just looking at the way that the water's running and then paying attention to where the bait is at. And that's typically how I pick my areas.
How about marsh points? I know where I fish down here, when we do back bay flounder, right? Because we have a bunch of sod banks, and we'll always try to use like the point of a sod bank. Like the closer you can get to a channel, you get that sod bank that acts like as a break for the current, and we'll get, usually depending on the tide, they'll be stacked up on either side of that point. Is it kind of similar to that, or
no,
a little different?
It's a lot different.
Yeah.
What it sounds like what you're explaining is more like, are you explaining it more of a like from an inlet?
No, so this would be like, yeah. So, well, all right. So you have your inlet, right? And then, so up in New Jersey, we have an intercoastal waterway. So we have, right? So you go into the inlet, and then you have the back bay areas, and there's sod banks. They're basically like marsh little islands, but they come out to points, right? And they'll be connected kind of close to the main channel that like Army Corps is like dug out. So what you do is you kind of fish that kind of flat between the point and where the channel is. And specifically like fluke, that's what we call them up here, but flounder will usually just be like blanketing that whole area.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of areas that set up just like that,
right?
But just not particularly in the areas that I'm typically fishing in. Yeah.
Hey, Chris, tell me this: how do you take a marsh dump?
At the truck before I fucking leave. Typically,
there you go.
I try to get my marsh dumps out beforehand, bro.
So if you take a dookie at the truck at the ramp, do you bag it up and like haul it off or put it in the doggy poop bin, or do you leave it there for somebody to step in? How does that work?
I usually leave it there for my brother to step in, because I usually prop my ass up on his driver's side tire and deuce it out.
That would caught me off guard.
If I have a bucket, man, I'll clean it up. You know what I mean? Get a bucket and grab a little scoop of water and clean it up.
Listen, I've been fully on since we had Joe from Cutting Retie on. I'm living by his rules now. I do the water trick every morning, right? Like if you want to be regular, you wake up, you go directly outside and chug a glass of water. For me, give it like 3 minutes, I'm gonna have to shit my brains out, like instantly. And
Dude,
then
I don't have that fucking problem.
so if that doesn't work, then I do what he does, and I just take a bunch of fucking Pepto when I don't need it, just to chalk up my system, and I don't poop all day.
I came the closest I have ever come in my entire life to shitting in my pants this past weekend fishing. Like I went and pinched one off before I left. Everything was good. And I got to the ramp, started loading the kayak up, and like when people say the bubble guts, right? Typically they're
No.
just talking about, you know, the
BGs.
stomach hurts. Well,
No.
my stomach was talking.
Yeah.
Like I probably couldn't catch fish the first 2 hours because my stomach was rumbling. And like it was one of these that, you know, I felt like if I could fart, I'd be all right. But if I farted, I might have been shitting in my britches. It was rough. It didn't go away till I caught my first fish, only fish, but it was a good one. It's big, is a big one. But yeah, when that happened and that adrenaline kicked in, you know, it settled everything down. I was good to go the rest of the day. But I was just curious because you know, in the marsh, you don't have no trees to grab hold of and, you know,
Dude,
squat on or lean over. You know, I've heard some stories of folks shitting out of their drive hole and
Yeah.
trying to lean
I've
over the kayak and pooping out the side of the kayak.
I've only ever had to take a marsh dump once, and luckily it was a day where I was throwing live bait, so I had a bucket. So I just pulled up the yak, threw the bait out, and took a shit in the bucket, man.
And then went
All right,
home.
that's
and
something to
got
sit
rid
on.
of- So
Here-
you released all your bait and a couple brown trout.
Here's a
Yeah.
quick story that I can finally tell now that I'm out. So I had this case, and it was we basically got a call that there's two people stuck in one of these back bay areas, and it was low tide, but it was starting to rise up. It was only like a foot of water back there, and we sent it to the small boat station out. And the guy calls me up and he goes, "Yo, you're never gonna believe this. Let me call you on your cell because I don't want this recorded." So he calls me on my cell. I step out of the space. He calls me on my cell, and he says, there's a woman who's around 520, 520-pound woman who is stuck in the marsh back there with her like 150-pound boyfriend. She had to take a shit and got out of the little John boat that they were in and instantly sunk. And now he couldn't get her out. And the tide is starting, it was low tide, but it's starting to shift to high. And unlike you, we have about a 3 to 5 foot swing on our tides.
Right. Yeah.
So she's kind of fucked at this
Yeah.
point. Long story short, it took some work, but they eventually they had one boy who was from Texas on our rescue crew, and he basically lassoed her up, and they used all the power of this jet boat to pull her out of the mud. But when they pulled her out, she obviously had to go real bad because it was like mud, but then you could smell that it was also just shit. Had been like she had sunk into the mud and shit herself in the mud, and it was all just trapped there for like 2 hours before they called the Coast Guard.
Oh, that's fucking terrible.
Man,
Man.
what a fucking good job I had. Yeah, that was there's like video of it. I keep it on a burner phone, like it's the old phone, because I refuse to let that one out because he could have gotten in trouble. It was one of the most magnificent days in my whole 20-year career was hearing
I
about
was just
this later
curious
stuff.
because I hear a lot of those saltwater guys talk more about shitting when they're
Yeah.
fishing than freshwater guys. So I was just
Yeah.
curious, you know, and your brother for some reason is always shitting in the marsh.
That's because
Something's wrong with him.
we got fucking Buckies, man. That's why we got Buckies.
them breakfast burritos.
Nearly every spot anybody fishes down on the coast, there is a Bucky's on the way, and they got the breakfast tacos, man.
Mm.
Breakfast
the-
tacos?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Is that the place that does breakfast pizza too?
No, fuck no. Don't you disrespect Texas like that. We don't do breakfast fucking pizza. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with
He's
you?
in New Jersey. He don't know better. They don't have tacos up
Oh,
there.
dude,
they don't
we
have no
have-
burritos.
You
You're
would
right.
it would blow your mind how easy it is to get a taco or a breakfast taco around here, man. I
Like
remember
a taco, I get, but not a breakfast taco.
my mother-in-law, she's from Alabama, and she came
Mhm.
here the first time,
Green
and she's
dough?
like, dude, does every gas station just sell tacos? And I'm like, yeah, doesn't everywhere just have tacos at every gas station?
There wasn't a lot of things I enjoyed about this last year living in Cali, but I do miss the tacos fucking everywhere. Whenever you want it, it was so amazing. The best taco joint we have here, it's super authentic. I believe it's pronounced, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend anybody, but the place we have here, again, super authentic, but it's called, I believe to pronounce it is Taco Bell. And that's about as authentic as you're going to get in my neighborhood. Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you a funny, interesting story about Taco Bell. They are one of the most nutritious and healthy fast food
food joints.
restaurants. They cut their sodium intake on their meat by like 20% over the last 10 years. Also, their meat doesn't have antibiotics or anything like that. Like when it comes down, if you were to go through and search it, you can find this on the internet. Taco Bell has some of the healthiest fast foods you can get
Dude,
out
they don't put enough meat on the fucking taco to give you any nutritional value. What are
Well,
you talking about?
It doesn't matter. They got rid of all the sodium. They don't use antibiotics, but what they do use is X-Lax instantly built into it, so you shit your brains out. If anything, they need to find somebody like Jared was for Subway, where it's just some dude that has constant diarrhea, and he talks about how he loses weight due to the Taco Bell diet.
But minus the child molesting.
Correct. Yeah, we probably can't be having that. You're right.
Y'all ever heard of Taco Cabana?
Mm-mm.
That's the best fast food taco joint. Taco Cabana.
Is it like Sonic, except the people who deliver your food to your car are Cabana boys?
No, it's like it's like Taco Bell, only real Mexican food.
Oh, okay, cool.
Up in Washington, we had a place called Taco Time. And for the longest time, even to the point where my first port call ever in the Coast Guard was in PV, Mexico. And we ordered Mexican food, obviously, because we're in Mexico. And I was disappointed because Taco Time, that's where I had gone all the time as a kid. They would do tater tots where they would just put like taco seasoning on them. And it came with every time you got tacos, it came with it, like as a side. And I'm in Mexico, 18 years old, and I ordered tacos, and I'm like, where the fuck are my tater tots? And everybody who I was sitting with was like, what did you just say, man, child? And I'm like, no. Like when you order Mexican food, you get tater tots with sauce on it. And they're like, no, you fucking don't.
You know what you get? You get chips and salsa. That's what you're supposed to get at the Mexican restaurant.
Or rice and beans, if you get it. That makes sense. But as a young, impressionable kid from Seattle, we don't have the biggest Hispanic population up there. I thought every Mexican food included taco seasoned tater tots.
Hey, speaking of food that makes you go stinky, have y'all seen the Starbucks olive oil?
Yeah, dude,
drink?
It's so funny.
Have y'all seen the TikTok where the guy was like, yeah, people are pissed off because they're drinking Starbucks with olive oil in it and they get the shits.
Yep.
He's like, it's poop potion. First of all, it's caffeine, which is already a diuretic.
Yep.
And then now they're putting, 4 tablespoons of olive oil in there. And, I don't know, have either of y'all ever taken pure MCT oil?
I have no idea what the fuck that is.
Okay, MCT oil is an oil extracted from the coconut, and it's like the most healthy oil you can get. So if you ever do a keto diet or anything like that, they talk about MCT oil. Look, if you're stopped up or if you have a bowel problem, take a couple tablespoons of MCT oil, and I promise you, it is better than anything you could ever get anywhere else. It'll run. It's like a reverse volcano. And when it hits the water, it's like a real volcano. So it's like a double volcano on the potty. This is terrible. It's terrible.
I call those that's the Hershey squirts, bro. The Hershey squirts.
I did see that, Paul, and I love that people are just shocked. They're like, I had olive oil in my coffee, and I had to I almost shit my pants. Yeah, no shit. You had fucking olive oil in your fucking coffee. Are you an idiot?
Starbucks is selling poop potion.
I think it's great. Keep it up. Because I hope they just accelerate it more to where there's some like Epicac dumped into your coffee with olive oil, so you're just blasting from both ends.
Hey, what is one of the keys to become YouTube or what is one of the keys that I have said to become viral fishing?
Yeah, shit
One
your
of them
pants.
is shit yourself.
Shit your pants.
That's one of the top 3 ways to become viral with fishing content is
It's
to
4.
shit yourself.
It's 4.
Okay.
It was catch big fish, hook yourself, hook somebody around you, or shit your pants.
Yes, there you go.
Yep.
Dude, I still haven't figured out the algorithm on TikTok and Facebook and all these reels, man. Because I've got reels that are like I make them and I feel like they're real badass. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, yeah. This is a good one. This is gonna get some views, you know. And then I've got just some literally 15-second videos of me with some fish on a stringer next to the fucking kayak. Like that's all I'm doing. I'm just pulling fish next to me.
Chris,
I put out a video.
I get 13,000 views.
Hold on, Alex. Hold on. Chris, I got 2 things. One, have you done? Do any of your videos have one of the 4 things we just talked about in it?
No.
And two, spell algorithm.
Oh, that's not happening.
Then you don't need to worry about the fucking algorithm.
That's not fucking happening.
So here's the funny thing. I've put in a lot of work on some videos, right? And they don't go very far. But I just put out a video where I was helping, shout out to Chris, Fish Mama Chris on TikTok, where she was having an issue with her PDL drive. And all I did was demonstrate how I put my drive in, and it got 80K. Like, it's just me putting the drive down. It hit 80K. Doesn't make sense. But here's something. I've been following this guy on TikTok, and he's one of those, like, social media gurus, but he's actually, like, not a douchebag. So he was describing specifically on TikTok is you got to find a way to get your videos categorized. So you got to be really good with putting like text on the screen, your description, but you got to hit keywords and you have to like say those keywords. Whatever the algorithm with TikTok is, it can register the words that you're saying on the video. So if you go through your videos on TikTok and start scrolling through your own videos and look at that top bar where it has a search bar, if it says find related content, it means you're not categorized. But if it says something like redfish fishing, it means that the algorithm recognized that your video is about this. I'm going to send it to as many people who want to see redfish fishing. And I've noticed that when I try to make these videos kind of like for that, they're getting categorized more. And you got to give it like 15 videos of like you really working hard and they'll start categorizing your shit. And you'll see a little bit more growth. Hey, Instagram, I have no fucking idea on Instagram. I just came back to Instagram after a while, and I think it fucking sucks.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, I'll tell you this. Alex does all this bullshit with his stuff.
Yeah.
And then I just make a TikTok of me starting my truck, and it gets 500,000 views.
Yeah.
So,
no,
you can put a lot of time and effort into it, or you can just make the stupidest 10-second video you could ever think of, and people love it.
I think when I first started doing social media, I definitely thought it was all about like, let's try to get as big as possible, right? I have realized over the time doing this, and TikTok's really shown me it's better to build like a community of those folks. Maybe your video only gets 500 views on TikTok, right? But you've got 40 fucking comments from people.
Yeah.
Who are supportive, especially for what we do, because it's for the show. You know what I mean? Like that community is way more important to me than hitting a viral video, pissing everybody off because I said bass fishing, or I didn't say it. Alex Rudd said bass fishing wasn't a sport.
Yeah.
And that pissed everybody off. I'd much rather have those other ones that get less views, but more engagement, right? Because that's building a community around you. Like if you're doing it for yourself, that's building a community around you. It's better to have that, because even if you get the viral videos, like most a shit ton of people are going to see them, right? But a lot of they're not going to be like fishermen. They're going to be some fucking random Yahoo that's on there,
right?
Like
that's not going to follow you anyway,
right? So or even if they do follow you, that's not the follow you want, because they're not going to keep watching your videos. They're going to wait for that one where you poop in a bag and throw it at your brother. That's all they're going to want.
Right.
I mean, and honestly, honestly, if you did that, that's all I would expect from you at that point.
Yeah.
Too.
No,
That's all I want to see.
It makes
that's-
perfect sense what you're saying though, because I got one that I posted like day before, a couple days ago on TikTok,
Mhm.
and it's only got like 700 views, but I've got like 90 likes and 6 comments.
Yeah, I think that's like I still always run like, so TikTok's a weird animal, right? Because everybody wants to go viral. Me, honestly, I still run that like, so like when I do YouTube, I'm looking for and I heard this a long time ago, right? And I still think it holds true. I'm looking for a decent video on, like, let's say YouTube. A decent video for me is I hit 10% of my subscribers, right? Like my views equal 10%, because you're going to have bots and all this other bullshit, right? Like what do we have, Paul? Like 1,200 and whatever subscribers on YouTube, right?
Don't ask me, because that's under Swamp Rat Fishing.
You're right. That's under mine.
To convert it to Bass and Brews. You're the only one making money off of that one.
I'm not making any money off that one. We obviously know that. But
all 12 of them views.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but so I've got 1,200 people, right? So if I can get 10% of those folks to watch a video, that's a good video. And I almost think of the same way of that on like TikTok. If I can get 300 like people who are actively watching the whole thing all the way through, give a like, maybe leave a comment, and I'm only hitting 10% of my I'm still okay with that, because that's your active group. Because you are, all these platforms, you're gonna have a shit ton of bots and fake fucking people. Like,
dude, Instagram, my Instagram lately,
bad.
I've been getting like just follow after follow from just some bimbo, you know what I mean? Like, it's
like
an obvious
Heather
fake.
0128969.
Yeah, it's like,
hey,
not today,
beautiful,
Isis.
what's your name?
No,
Well, send the fucking
I told
Instagram.
Mandy, my wife, the other day, I'm like, listen, if you ever leave me, just so you know, this lady thinks that because I catch big fish, I've got a big wiener, because that's what she DM'd me.
Right.
And I felt really bad, because the one that she was talking about, the one that she was talking about, it was a crappie. So I was like, oh man, at least your expectations are real, because it's gonna be not
Hey,
that.
Chris, check out this bluegill, bitch.
Chris, Alex just gave you a series idea that I think could change your social media. You and your brother fish a lot.
Yeah.
Just,
pranking
maybe
each
start
other
off the first time throwing a bag of shit at him at the ramp.
Yeah.
But then just carry it on and just start throwing shit at him and videotaping it every morning before y'all go fishing. Just start, throw something at him and videotape it and just post it.
We've actually talked about just starting a YouTube channel of just us, just content that we pull off of our the B-roll shit that we pull off of our GoPros. That's just me and him just talking shit to each other all day. Hey, you dumb motherfucker, get out of my way! All that bullshit.
That's a great idea. So speaking on that, Drew has told the story on this podcast about you losing the big redfish that lost the tournament. So we have one side of this. We need to hear your side, because he wasn't even around you, but apparently you fucked up, is the way that he put it. And he told
it was all
you
your fault.
He told you not to fuck up. Tell us your side of this story. We want to hear your side.
Well, first of all, I'm the only motherfucker that caught any fish. So let's start there. They were my fish.
Yeah, he did. He said that. Now he did. He prefaced it with that. He prefaced it that he didn't catch shit.
Yeah,
but
dude, it was hindsight's 2020, right? It was the most bonehead freaking move. Even if I would have let that fish die that day, we still would have won that tournament. Even with the penalty, we still would have won that tournament. Man, so the story goes, I catch this fish, throw him on the bow guy, weigh him. He's 8.5, 8.7, something like that. He's a solid tournament fish. I mean, fucking solid. And I put him in the well.
Hey, time out real quick. For these tournaments that you guys are doing weight, not length.
So so all of our tournaments we're live weigh-in. So I carry a Plano box, a Plano Sportsman box that I've plumbed with a live well. That's what I got all the damn Z Pro batteries back here for, that power my live well and all that all day. So Anyway, yes.
Hold on. And how
Go
many
ahead.
fish?
Two fish.
Two fish. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a two fish weigh-in. Some tournaments have rules that you immediately have to cull fish to. Others you can carry 3 fish in your well because that's your legal limit. So you can carry 3 fish. It's some tournaments, some you can't. But anyway, so yeah, man. So I catch this fish, and you know the upper end of what we're trying to catch is 8.5 to 9.5. You might get a 10-pound fish, but it's going to be a stocky son of a bitch. So I mean, this was a tournament stud fish, and you get
this is the one that you killed.
No, just shut
no,
up, Alex.
no,
And listen.
no.
Listen to he's getting there.
So anyhow, so I catch the fish, I get him weighed, and I put him in the live well. And the deal with our live weight tournaments is if your fish dies, you get a half-pound penalty per fish. So if you bring in 2 fish, you're getting a 1 pound deduction off the bat. You bring in 1 dead fish, 1 live fish, you're getting a half pound off of your total. So anyhow, I get him in the well, the live well, and the fish goes belly up, right? So I take him out and I put him back on my fish grips and stuff, and I move him around in the water and whatnot, and I get him revived, and I put him back in the well, and we keep fishing, and it's 10-15 minutes goes by, and I have this feeling, my spidey senses are tingling, like, man, there's something wrong with that fish back there. He's not moving. I don't hear any noise. Usually for like the first 10 minutes that I put a fish in the well, he's thrashing, like he's trying to get the hell out of there. He's trying to break all the plumbing in the live well. He's mad. And anyway, so I stop and I pull up, look in the live well, and there he is, belly up. So I'm like, all right. I get him back out, and this about the time that I take him out, my brother comes from around this point, and he starts yelling, "What the fuck are you doing, man? Put him back in the well. Put him back in the well. You're gonna lose that fish." And I'm like, "Dude, chill out. I'm trying to revive the damn fish. Like,
I'm a grown ass man. Don't tell me what to do, motherfucker."
exactly, dude. So I put him back in, get him revived. He's bitching at me the whole time. I put him back in the well, and then we start fishing again. And the same shit happens. He flops up, belly up again. I take him out. Here comes Drew bitching. Well, finally, he leaves me alone. I'm like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Just get the fuck away from me. Go fish. Stop messing with me. Let me worry about this fish. You go catch a fucking another one because you ain't caught shit all day. Leave me the fuck alone. Right? So I take him out, and everybody knows those plastic. Here they are, right fucking here. These fucking guys. Look at this. These fucking pieces of shit right here that will never go back on another one of my boats. I got a brand new pair that I won at a tournament, and they're hanging in my damn garage. Anyway, so I take him back out of the well again, man, and instead of holding on to the handles together like I was doing before, for some reason my dumbass grabbed the little ball at the end of the bungee. I grabbed that, and I kind of let him go out a little further away from me so that I could get a little bit more length on how I was swirling him around in the water. And sure as shit, dude, that fish kicked. And it was like a fucking dude. Drew makes fun of me, but I swear it was like a damn alligator, bro. That tail came around to the front and just slapped that fucking fish grip. Fish grip comes off, and then all the MFers start flying. And Drew's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I lost a fucking fish." Like, "What do you mean you lost the fish?" I'm like, "I lost the fish." It was a bad day, bro. It was a tough day, like I say. And then I proceeded after that to catch another 8.5 pound fish that if I would have had those 2 fish, even if they were both dead, we would have won that tournament that day. I think we weighed an 8, that other one that I caught, and then like a 6 that day. And we ended up in like 6th or 7th, maybe. It was a bad deal, man.
All right. So I'm really
change. That's a chunk of change you lost.
Oh yeah.
So I'm really
listening to your professional brother.
I think that's a cool format so it's a team tournament, obviously, right? And it's 2 fish a person or just 2 for the
It's
team?
a 2-fish stringer for the team.
That's really interesting because I feel like that makes things very close. You know what I mean? Like when you start doing like a 5-fish limit like bass is, right? I don't fish tournaments. That's all Paul.
Right.
Yeah, but I feel like that can get out of hand really quick, right?
Right.
But I feel like, you're even if you got a 6, right? You pop a 9, all of a sudden you're fucking right up there and like super. Yeah. That seems really exciting. I like that.
On the tournament scene down here where we fish, if you can pull 12.5 pounds out of the marsh, you'll get up there in the top. You'll be in the top 10 for sure. Now, last year, this time of year, man, we had low weights. I mean, we had 12, 13 pound winning bags weighed in last year this time. And this year, man, I don't know what the hell happened this year, but our first GRS tournament, the guys who won it, they won it with like 16.9.
Holy shit.
And there's a guy that weighed in the boat division with a 10-pound fish, and that's super rare. Not only was it a 10-pound fish, but it was a 27-inch fish, which makes it even more rare. That fish is going to be able to grow another inch and possibly another couple of pounds, and somebody could catch that thing and bring it into.
I'm telling you, redfish are just big, fucking dumb bass. That are gold.
Right, I have a question about this. On the North Carolina coast, I got some buddies that go out and they catch these bull reds. Are those the same as what you're catching in the marsh? Because these bull reds look bigger and they look like they're kind of offshore. Yeah. What's the difference in catching the bull reds and then catching the ones in the marsh? Is there a difference? Like, because those bull reds look way bigger than 27 inches.
They're the same fish, man. When redfish are in the marsh for the first couple of years of their life, and then when they get up to maturity, they go offshore. And the behaviors are different in different areas though too, right? So like we have a lot of barrier islands and stuff like that, so we don't get a whole lot of really big fish in our marshes. During the fall and the winter, we'll get some 34-inch fish. I've caught some 33s, 34s, 35s in the marsh. But you go to somewhere like Louisiana that doesn't have all those big barrier islands and all that stuff between the Gulf and the marsh, and it's like that, like you're talking about. They catch giant bull reds in the marsh. I can't speak anything on the Carolinas. I've done zero research on what's going on up there.
Do those redfish, do they spawn in that brackish water, or are they saltwater only?
Don't give me a line about where they're spawning. Now I can tell you that you can catch them. You can, dude. I took a screenshot from some random like Houston urban fishing group or some shit that I'm in, and I sent a screenshot to my brother that somebody had caught. I think it was like right at 16 pounds, 2 fish, like 16 pounds in like downtown freaking Houston. These fish had worked their way all the way up the bayou into Houston. Crazy story. When I was a kid, man, we grew up down on the coast, and where we lived at in Matagorda is where the Colorado River dumps out into the Gulf. Town we live right along it. There's a dam in town, and the redfish be so thick sometimes, man. You could go take rig up a snag rig. You've ever illegal shit like I've done. take a big pyramid weight and take some treble hooks and tie them straight to the line. No loop, no nothing. I think in some areas it's actually legal to snag. I believe.
So that's the only way you can catch spawning salmon in Alaska, and it's completely illegal or completely legal as long as you hit them from their
legal.
Legal as long as you hit them from their fins forward. So you got to snag them in the fucking face.
That's also how some bass anglers make their big fish content is from snagging.
Mike Long, props to you, big guy.
That's essentially what we used to do, man. The fish would run up real thick all the way up to that dam, man. You could sit there and snag them all day long.
So they seem like, yeah, they probably, so like in New Jersey we have striper, right? Everybody loves striper fishing up here, and that's like the big thing, these saltwater striper, but they'll push all the way up into the tidal rivers to do their fucking business, and then they'll flood out, and you'll get some cows that come up that are like, this year has been a good year. I've seen on social media and dudes around me that are just catching like 45-pound fucking striper in like 5 feet of water. It's fucking insane.
Hey, Chris, I have a question. Y'all have the live weigh-ins. Is it catch and release, or do you take the fish home and eat them after?
Yeah, they
the
make
tournament?
a Buc-ee's fucking taco.
They sell them to Buc-ee's and then get that. And the other question that I have,
Hold on, did we lose Chris? Chris, you still there? All right.
He froze.
He froze.
Am I back?
Chris froze.
Oh,
There you
you're
go.
there.
There you go. All right. Did
Hold
you hear
on.
my question? The first question I had? Yep, you good. Did you hear the first question I had?
I did not. Last
Okay.
last I heard
right,
was
so-
Alex was talking about striper.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, strippers, but he calls them stripers.
He's got that
450
extra
pounders.
PP.
Yeah, 450 pounders. Anyway, my question is your live weigh-in. Is it catch and release, or do y'all take them bastards home and shove some lemons up their assholes and eat them? And then the second part of this question is, I know that I've seen people talk about using the fish grips, or you got some other fish grips that are smaller that work. But anyway, about people will hook them on the fish grips and they'll drag them around on their kayak in the water connected to the kayak. So there's two different questions, but start off first with what do y'all do with the fish?
Solid hosting, Paul. Way to give him two questions in two different avenues. Real good
I got to get
job.
the motherfuckers in now before you interrupt me when I want to ask my other questions, and then I forget.
You know
because
what?
you say something funny.
Alex
is out of here, so I'm going to kick him out. He went to go tinkle. Don't worry. All right. So first question: what do y'all do with the fish? Is it catch and release, or do y'all keep them and eat them?
90% of them are get released. We try to keep ours alive by using our live well. I take it a step further now. A lot of guys, what they'll do is they'll take a tournament stringer, is what we call it, but it's basically a tournament a stringer, and it's just got a couple of drops that Y out on the end, depending on, you can get them in 3 drops or 5 drops or whatever. I don't like dragging my fish around, man. Not that I'm this big like conservationist or hippie or anything, but I just don't like dragging them around. I don't like losing points. I'm competitive. Like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it all the way. So I carry my live well, man, and we try to release them. Last tournament, unfortunately, the fish didn't make it. We stood in line at the weigh-in for like 20 minutes, and we didn't really have much water in our bag. So they were alive when they got weighed, but by the time we got done taking pictures of, and everything, they were, unfortunately, they were no longer with us. But
did y'all take them home and grill them up?
Oh yeah, man. We
once if he said no.
Redfish on a half show.
Once if he said no, he's like, no, I threw him in the fucking trash. And then he shit on my brother's truck.
No.
Imagine how outraged the fishing community would have been if he was like, nah, I fucking used them as fertilizer and then called it good.
Yeah, no, we do our best. Like I say, I would say a good 90% of the fish that are weighed in between the boat and the kayak division get released, and then I would say that 5% of the remaining 10% are guys that are just like, fuck this, I'm taking this home. This dinner tonight. I work my, you know what I mean?
Dude, it's something so funny with saltwater anglers. There's such a difference between, like, I don't know, especially here, like every saltwater angler I know, fucking, as long as it's legal, they're gonna fucking keep it and eat it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's part of what's wrong with with the bass population in America now is
stunted.
and I'll relate it to wildland firefighting. There you go, Hambone. There's my wildland firefighting dig in here.
Wildland firefighting. Oh God. Go ahead. Let's hear it, Paul. Let's hear about how you were
here's the relation.
firefighter.
And since the 50s, we have suppressed wildland fires so efficiently in America. That's why we get these huge wildfires because the undergrowth isn't being burnt.
Right.
Same thing with fishing. We've got all these bass anglers that is catch and release, catch and release, catch and release, that people don't keep any of the bass anymore. So you don't have these fish coming out of the lake. And so they're overpopulated. And it's scientific facts. I don't know where the fuck, I don't have anything to say where you can find it. Just go Google that shit, but it's out there. And that's the thing. Keep and eat the motherfucking fish. I mean, I told y'all before, the 8-pounders with eggs in them are the best ones to fry. I'm just kidding. Worst. Don't keep those. But those, 10 to 14 inchers, depending on where you are, 14 inchers might not be one you keep. But in general, keeping those 10 to 14 inchers are really good eating fish. You can fillet them out. You can fry them whole. It don't matter. But that's a difference in the saltwater side that I have seen. It's one of the reasons why I asked the question is keeping the fish and eating them versus throwing them back. Where bass anglers, if you come up with your 5 fish on a stringer and you flop them into the cooler at the boat ramp, people are like looking at you like, people
are gonna lose their mind.
This motherfucker, they're like, this, sir. Are those bass? Yep, they sure are. I'm like, what are you doing with them? Well, I'm going to take them home and eat the hell out of them. They're like, oh my God, you don't throw them back?
Right.
But fry them up, dude.
But if you say that on the other end, right? Like the other end on the saltwater side, like you show up at the marina, you pull in, and somebody's like, how was your day? You're like, oh man, I fucking slammed them. I caught about 20. And they're like, let me see your cooler. And you're like, well, I got nothing in there. They're like, bullshit. You didn't catch shit. But I love how it's opportune. I love how it's opportunistic on the saltwater side. I remember I went out. Shout out to good family friend Tommy Hines. He's going through some health issues, but he listens to the show. So Tommy, hope we head out there soon. But we went out. And we were trying to get on. There's a wreck offshore, and he has like this little boat. And we try to head out, and we're going for sea bass, Atlantic sea bass, right? And we ended up
sea bass
exactly. And we ended up.
I said them gators all on her. Got all their teeth and no toothbrush.
We ended up going out, and we couldn't get out there because it got too rough, and his boat was too small. Like we were getting the shit kicked out of us. Nope, nobody gives a shit about your joke. Nope, because we didn't like it. We didn't like it because I'm trying to tell a fucking story, and we ended up pushing back, and we were gonna try to find fluke, and what we did find was fucking blowfish, like the Atlantic blowfish, and we sat there for 2 hours and filled a fucking cooler full of fucking blowfish, and we ate them sons
ones
of
that if you don't clean them,
no, not the Atlantic.
That's a puffer.
That's a puffer.
Puffer.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Atlantic ones are delicious. They taste like fucking chicken. And once you gut them all out, they look like giant shrimp prawns of chicken meat. They are fucking awesome. I think I've said.
If I'm fun fishing, man.
Yeah.
If it's under 24 inches, I'm keeping that bitch. If it's under 24, I'm keeping it. And if you better believe if I catch a trout, I'm making tacos. If I catch a flounder, I'm stuffing that bitch. Like, there's no throwing anything back unless it's a 5.5 pound redfish and over. That's the only thing that gets any grace from me.
How big do your flounder get?
Not too big, man. Not too big. They have a pretty big I can't think, what is it? Who's Your Flatty Daddy tournament down here, and it's a big tournament. I want to say they have $30,000 in prizes every year. I mean, it's pretty damn big. But usually the fish that win that tournament, 9 pound, 10 pound, 11. There's some pretty decent size, decent size.
We have up here, we have the Duke of Fluke tournament is what it's called. And that's rough. I mean, that's like 15 to 16 is what you gotta do to get the money.
Is it DOOK or is it DUKE?
D-U-K-E, the Duke of Fluke. Not
making sure.
not the Duke. You know what's funny is, and I don't even know if our listeners like this, but as we're going through this, I always have to think about how I'm going to like title this episode.
We know you
And-
talk about it every episode.
Yeah.
Like you're special.
No, I don't think it's special. I just like to include people on the stream of thought, and I have a podcast, so why shouldn't I? Again, I think you're way too sassy. I'm going to roll back to 1 hour and 18 minutes ago on your fucking sassiness tonight, Paul. Like, it's too much.
Hey, Chris,
It's too much.
you take some live
Don't
scripts
ignore
out.
me. Hold on, stop. Don't ignore me,
Oh,
Paul.
are you?
Don't-
You're not done. You're
No, I'm not done. Why are you so fucking sassy tonight? Oh,
Got him.
Hey, Chris, you take a bunch of scrimps out there and you fish them with scrimp. At the end of the day, the leftover shrimp, do you take home and make tacos with it? Do you eat the bait shrimp?
Hell yeah, if it's live. If I get live shrimp, yeah. Hell yeah.
How you
There's
get
no-
live shrimp? You got there cast netting?
No, I'd go to the damn bait shop. I ain't.
Oh look,
I
y'all
ain't
got
throwing a
live
cast net.
shrimp in the bait shop.
Yeah. You
How
can
much
live
that shit a pound? How much is it
You-
cheaper to buy live
Is it
shrimp at the
cheaper than
bait
the
shop to
grocery
go home
store?
and cook than it is to go buy frozen thawed shrimp?
No, no, it's more expensive, and it's not sold by the pound; it's sold by the quart. So they have a net, right, and it's a cup that's a quart-sized cup that has a bunch of holes drilled in it, and they scoop up your shrimp, fill up that, and that's
Okay.
a quart.
Yeah,
You
but
don't
is
wanna-
that cheaper? Is that cheaper than getting shrimp from the grocery store?
He just
Like-
said
like-
no.
No,
Uh-uh.
I mean not frozen. Like,
There ain't no
You know what
live
I mean?
shrimp in the grocery store, motherfucker.
well, I know they're dead, dipshit. I'm just saying, not frozen. You have
Yeah,
a
quart-
fucking fishmonger
A
who's
quart
sitting
of-
there
no.
selling. Okay.
I haven't bought live shrimp in probably 2 years, but like I want to say a quart of live shrimp is like $12, and that might be a quarter of a pound of shrimp. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's
It's
not
only
worth
like 30 little, depending on the size they have
Yeah.
that day. It's not very
Hey,
much.
it sounds like you don't want to pick that shrimp cup up to take your morning poop in. It got a bunch of holes in it.
All right. So,
Hell no.
so if you're not throwing shrimp, let's say somebody first time red fishing ever,
Mhm.
what should they be throwing?
First time, I'd say I'd probably put them on a popping cork. Popping
Okay.
cork, a 4 horseman popping cork with a 1/8 ounce jig head and a gulp shrimp hanging off the bottom of it. Real simple, very easy to do. It's like ringing a dinner bell to the redfish. It almost doesn't make sense, to be perfectly honest with you, right? So we're, like I say, we're fishing in 18 inches, 2 foot of freaking water, right? So you would think you're throwing this bright ass. I mean, here, look, I got one right here. These bright ass.
Oh man, back up,
fluor-
you ugly.
fluorescent corks, right? And they're
Yeah.
hanging right above these fish's head, and you're yanking on them and pulling on them and making all this noise, and they still eat the shit. So
Yep.
I guess you could
Big-
say they are
Big
dumb.
dumb bass.
Big dumb bass.
big
Sounds
dumb
like a
bass.
whopper plopper to me. All right.
Right.
So pop and cork. So you start out with that. What's the
Mhm.
next? What's the next rig after that?
Your everyday paddle tail.
Paddle
Paddle
tail.
tails. Just throwing paddle tails, swim baits. Depending on the area, whether it's a grassy marsh or a sandy marsh, muddy marsh, depending on what area you're in. Wake baits is another good one. Wake
Yeah.
baits is a super good one. Easy bait to throw. Doesn't take a lot of skill. Throw it out, reel it in, get it in front of a fish, and it's going to get smashed. Yeah, paddle tails, top. You could go top water if you're efficient. If you're, let's say that if this theoretical person here is a bass fisherman or has
Mhm.
done some other sort of fisherman or other sort of fishing, different species or whatever, a lot of the techniques will transfer right over. You know,
Like
what I
a
mean?
spook or something like that, ripped across
Yeah.
the top will work. Okay.
Yep. Super Spook Juniors, the Berkeley Hijackers, Jaywalkers, just any bass bait, man. Change the hooks out, get some 3X hooks, and you got a redfish bait.
Mhm.
same chatterbaits. I mean,
I
every
heard
bait.
about chatterbaits working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will tell you though, man, I haven't caught shit on chatterbait. I haven't caught jack shit on a chatterbait. My brother hammers them on a chatterbait. I don't have any confidence in it.
Yeah.
Just the rod he's using.
Yeah, right. I've got 5 of them motherfuckers behind me.
Are you throwing on primarily spinning gear? Do you have casting gear? What is your primary setup when it comes to rod and reel?
For me, the only spinning gear that I have is my popping cork rod. That's strictly just for throwing a popping cork. I don't do anything else with that rod. It's a big. I think it's a 7'3" medium heavy. And that's all the only spinning gear that I'll throw. The rest of my stuff, I'm throwing all bait caster, low profile stuff. I'm actually throwing bass reels, man. I'm throwing the Abu Garcia Xenons, the Xenon X's.
Big money.
Yeah, I've got 3 of the Xenon X's. Luckily, I'm on the Pure Fishing Select Angler team.
Oh, another fight. All right, we get it. We told you. You stole the pussy in the beginning. Now we're getting towards the end. You're just trying to mop up what's left. I get you.
Hey, man. It's all about who you know, bro. It's all about who you know.
You know what I mean? Figured since we know you, you sent it our way, but I get it.
Yeah. Y'all gotta come down. Y'all gotta come down here, and I'll introduce you to Danny, and then maybe we'll get you on the team.
Listen, I think that's all good advice.
Alex need to make a trip somewhere and meet together. That is a fishing trip. Yep. On the setup, are you throwing all braid? Are you throwing fluoro? Does it matter? Is it? I mean, what does it look like on the line?
So the areas that I fish are typically pretty dirty water. I don't fish a lot of clear water, so I'm throwing straight braid, 30-pound braid on all my rigs, even my spinner. That's got 30-pound braid on it just because, like my brother, I'm cheap and I'm not buying different line for that son of a bitch. So perfect. I buy the 3,000-yard spools from Pure Fishing, and that goes on everything. And then as far as leaders, like I say, everywhere I fish it's pretty muddy. So I don't fish a lot of clear water, so I don't throw any leaders other than on my popping cork, obviously, because I have to have one on there, but I don't throw leaders at all. I am straight to braid, no leader, no swivel, no fluff, no bullshit, just straight on and horsing them in.
Yeah. Which is all fantastic advice, because as you were talking, I Googled best way to catch a redfish. And do you know what the number 1 answer was? I'm not even shitting you. Do you know what it was?
No.
It said Damiki rig. Or I'm sorry. No, not Damiki. Sabiki rig. And I'm like, that's not for fucking redfish, dog. That's for
Isn't that like a crappie rig or something?
Alex, you gotta scroll down past the sponsored content.
No.
Content.
That was not sponsored content. It said best way to catch redfish in North Carolina at that much. It said a sabiki rig. That's the rig you use to catch bait.
Some people
look at the Bassmaster website looking at how to catch redfish and go to the damn saltwater website.
Right. We've got a lot of redfish and coastal snobs down here that look down on people for throwing gulps, and I don't understand it. It's the weirdest shit I've ever seen. Like, why wouldn't you use the best fucking bait there is to catch saltwater fish?
The scientifically proven bait
to catch more fish.
You know, it's funny, and I'm definitely guilty of it, right? But so the science is there in gulp on the saltwater side, but how come that science hasn't pushed to the bass side? Because
it has, dude.
I know, but it's not as popular, because literally, like, you talk to any guy in Jersey fishing for flounder or for striper, they're throwing
gulp.
Fucking gulp. It's gulp. That's all you fucking need. You need a bottom rig, a high-low rig, and maybe a fish finder rig, but every single fucking time it's tipped with gulp. Like, you have gulp every time. Even a bucktail jig is still fished with a gulp on the back end of it.
Hey, do you want to know my answer?
Yeah.
To why in this, what I'm going to encompass it first and tell me if I'm right or wrong. We're saying that like one or two little things in saltwater fishing is what people rely on.
Yeah.
And then in bass fishing, we have hundreds of thousands of things, right? Am I right
could
in
be.
that assumption, what you're
Yeah.
saying, Alex?
Absolutely.
And here's why. Because
bass
saltwater
dumb.
anglers are smart and bass anglers are fucking stupid.
Yeah. No. I mean, bass anglers are more apt to, because there's probably more money, because saltwater too, like somehow in freshwater fishing, it's so taboo to, or you can't use live bait, right? Or any kind of cut bait, right? And that's definitely a thing in saltwater, because nobody gives a fuck. You're just trying to catch some fucking giant from the deep. So throw a fish head on that fucking hook and chuck it the fuck out there, right? You can't do that in bass fishing. So it made it so everything had to be artificial, that you had to buy. So why not explode that market with it?
Well, the saltwater is not as well known in the public as freshwater fishing, bass fishing, if we're going to talk about
That's
like
true.
the tournament side.
Yep.
But the saltwater side, for the most part, drives a majority of sales in fishing.
Probably. Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, it's more expensive.
So
You said
you
the
know,
saltwater side
Yeah.
drives
yeah,
more
and
sales?
I could be completely wrong. Somebody fact check me on this, but I remember
they
Ken
will.
Duke talking about it at some point on a podcast, talking about how nobody ever
Yeah.
really talks about the bass. I mean, the saltwater side of fishing, but the saltwater side of fishing is like half or more
Yeah.
in revenue than bass fishing.
If you think about full revenue, right? So one, boats. You buy a boat to do to go fish on a lake. That's going to be a lot cheaper than a boat to any boat that you're doing saltwater in, right? Like you're going to get more revenue that way. Then you've got these like tuna boats, these guys that run for tuna. And now they've got like 4 fucking Mercs on the back of their fucking 180, or not even that. You know what I mean? Expensive ass boat. Like it is definitely more expensive. And then just gas in general. You're going to burn more. Saltwater fishing is way more expensive that way. Unless you're kayak fishing, it's totally a different thing.
I think story. I feel like the data would show you that it's more dollar amount in the saltwater, but more products sold in the
100%.
freshwater.
Yes,
100%.
100%.
Freshwater fishing, but I mean,
yeah.
Look, let's take 20 years ago, the late 90s, early 2000s. There weren't probably a quarter of the shit, half of the shit that's out now.
Yeah.
Didn't exist. I mean, you used to go into Bass Pro Shops and it was the big names. It was Strike King, Berkeley, Zoom. That was pretty much it. Bass Pro had their little thing. I mean, it was, and now not only do you have tons of different brands to buy, but you have all these folks, all these small time lure makers who are doing shit that are regional and locally based.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a few on this podcast.
Absolutely.
And so there's just a lot more to choose from on the bass side. And then that goes down to bass anglers just buy a lot of shit. I've hardly bought shit this year from a lure perspective, because I'm looking at all the shit that I've got now, and I'm like, God damn, I haven't used this and I haven't used this. I'm like, I don't need to buy anything. I need to buy hooks, weights, and line.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to lures, I mean, when it comes to lures and shit, I mean,
that's just what I bought in 2023. None of it's out of the package.
When I tournament fish, man, I can fit everything that I need in 2 of the tubs. I take 2 tubs of the gulp, 1 of the paddle tails, 1 of shrimp, and then I take a box of hard baits and a box of terminal tackle. That's all I take with me.
Super simple.
Thank God we have a good guest on tonight, because he's leading into one of the other things that I wanted to ask about. When I go bass fishing, I have 8, 9, 11 rods. I've got shit stored in boxes in my H crate under the seat. All my soft plastics are floating around in the boat when the water comes up. Y'all go out there with 2 or 3 rods and, would you say, 2 little tubs of shit to fish?
Man,
like you ain't taking a bunch of shit out there.
Man, dude, there's guys that take all sorts of shit. You know what I mean? But I used to say that if I got a bunch of rods, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But if I got 2 rods and 2 baits tied on, I know what the hell's going on, and I'm gonna fuck them up. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like you just covered it, right? You said you've got the popping cork, you got some kind of top water maybe, and a swim bait. You could probably be effective with all 3, right? And I think we probably all could be effective with some kind of version of that.
Yeah. I carry 4 rods. So my 4th is another medium light rod with some variation of shrimp, some sort of a shrimp bait.
Well, with bass fishing, on to Alex's point, the fish are going to be shallow, deep, or somewhere in between. So if you have a lure that's shallow, that covers deep, and somewhere in between, you should be all right.
Hey, should be all right with 3, but I've got fucking 6 rods every time, and I only use 1.
Yeah. Well, I go fishing. I throw every rod I take at least once.
Yeah.
If it's just for shits and giggles to make myself feel better.
I should try that more often.
I throw paddle tail like 90% of the time. 90% of the time, I only pick up 1 rod. Unless if conditions change midday, then I'll start reaching behind me and grabbing something else. If it gets windy, I'll grab the popping cork, start throwing the popping cork. If it dies, I'll start throwing a wake bait or a top water or something to ring the old dinner bell.
Hey, Chris, I got a question for you because I haven't been able to find it, but I think I saw this somewhere. Listener of the show, big fan, probably talks the most shit out of any fan that I know.
Go.
And I love him. I've never met him, and I love him. But didn't our buddy William Shaw do a little winning last week or the week before?
No, William got his ass kicked.
I swear this some bitch said he won something, and I congratulated him. He's playing me. William Shaw, you asshole.
William Shaw won dead ass last if you won anything.
Hey,
I love talking shit with that guy, man.
Look,
William's a good dude.
William texts me out of the blue at almost every episode with some dumb shit that he, talking shit. I love it. It's great. Well, this some bitch played me because I swear to God, he posted on something. It might have been the bro staff or something that he won or somebody. I don't know. I thought he won something. He
was talking shit to me. I think what you're talking about was him talking shit to me because I posted a video of my new live well setup, and the fucker comments and goes, "All that work just to lose, huh?" So check it out. We get to the weigh-in at the tournament, right? And we weigh our fish, and I go up to him. I'm like, "Hey man, how'd y'all do?" And he's like, "Oh man, we skunked. I didn't catch shit." And I'm like, "Oh yeah? All that work just to lose, huh?"
Yes.
Fucking asshole.
Yes.
Damn. I thought we was about to give him some props for winning something, man. He done cap.
Nope.
This man, what is the equivalent of a saltwater catfish? I know there are saltwater catfish and they're nasty, slimy because I caught them down in Florida.
Do you guys have oyster fish?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're thinking of the same fish, but I think we call it something different. I think that might be what people down here call a dogfish for some reason, but it's not a dogfish. It's like you're talking about the ugly ass, like brown and tan. Oyster fish.
But also dogfish up here in New Jersey. If you're fishing saltwater, you get a fucking spiny dogfish. That's the same thing as getting a fucking catfish in a bass tournament. Fuck those dogfish.
Yeah,
hey,
we don't.
Chris, last thing before we get into the most important part of this podcast, tell us about the Z-Pro batteries because you've been with them for a while, and I know they've made a huge push here recently with fresh and saltwater anglers, and I know you've been with them a long time. So, tell us about that battery real quick and how what it's done for you and how you like it.
Yeah, I mean, even more than the batteries, man. I like the dude that owns the company, right? Michael, he's a real genuine guy, right? So I originally reached out to Z-Pro just to ask some questions about like if I'm running this many amps for this long, yada, 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 what size battery do I need? And me and Michael just kind of, he would answer my questions but not try to sell me anything. You know what I mean? He was just a genuine guy, just trying to help me out. But I've developed a relationship with Michael and started using the batteries. The 100 amp hour is what I use on my autopilot, and I can't kill it, dude. I've tried to kill that thing, man. I have literally, the strongest current you can find, towing buddies around. The very first time that I took it out, I told David, who is the team lead for Z Pro, I said, all right, man, I'm gonna kill this thing. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna hammer this thing all day long. I'm gonna run this bitch on 10 all day, and I'm dragging around. I'm driving through the mud, chopping shit up. And man, they've performed great for me. Performed really well for me. I run, like I say, I run my autopilot on one. I run the 50 amp hour, which is right there above my thumb. That's what I run on my pedal drive boat, and that runs my fish finder, which I only use for GPS. I'm not finding any fish in 2 feet of water. It's simply for GPS and water temperature. But I run off the 50 amp hour. I'm able to run my live well from the time I put it in the water and load it up to all the way till after the weigh-in on that 50 amp hour battery. And it's also running my spotlight. I've got a spotlight up on the front of that boat. It's just a KC light, basically, that I just bolted onto the front of the damn thing. Run that off of it.
Redneck light.
That's right. And then the I've got a redneck 360 light as well that I made out of PVC and shit.
Of course,
and then dude, you can take, and a pro tip here, you can take a 1/2-inch CPVC and a 1156 bulb socket, which is a reverse light, and buy the xenon reverse light bulbs and throw it in that piece of PVC, and that is the brightest 360 light that you have ever seen in your life.
That nobody needs. That nobody fucking needs.
Hey, can you draw us a diagram of what that looks like real quick?
Of what? The light?
light?
It's right behind me. Bitch.
So no, he can't.
No, I can't. I can't.
Listen, I've heard those Z Pro batteries are so good that they're gonna power all of Sea Cow towing when I start towing fat ladies out. So.
Yeah, they're great batteries, man. Like I say, I've been running them for a while. Haven't had any issues whatsoever. Nothing to complain about. No warranty issues. Nothing, man. It's been a great product for me so far. I know there's a lot. There is some shit talk out there, and I'll address it. There is some shit talk out there that Z Pros like Wu Tungsten and all this stuff, all these comparisons. But man, I'm telling y'all, dude, anybody that talks shit, they've never met Michael. They've never had a conversation with the guy, somebody that really cares about the technology that's going into his shit. That's one of my things with being on the Pure Fishing team. I was a Shimano guy for a long time.
Look at that.
No, I'm making the comparison here of like, Dakota Lithium is not going to come shake my fucking hand. You know what I mean? Nobody from Dakota Lithium's ever hit me up on Easter and said Happy Easter, man. Nobody from Shimano's ever come and shook my hand in a tournament and said, hey man, way to get them today. So that's why I ride with the companies that I ride with. I'm not just some fanboy, you know what I mean? Just hopping on the bandwagon. I had a relationship with this dude before I ever even had a battery in my hands. He was, we developed a friendship. So
nice. Well, did you ever find your trailer?
Nope. Still haven't found the trailer, but I finally talked the insurance company into covering it and got another one.
Nice. Damn trailer thieves.
So
start taking the wheels off.
So speaking of companies, Before we get to the
Alex
fucking
about to
world,
mute your ass.
I said,
before we
hey,
get oh, shut the fuck up. Before we get to the famous shotgun round, anybody else you'd like to speak about? Because as everybody knows, this is going to either elevate you to the greatest heights of internet fishing fame or sink you into the dark waters.
So I ride for Fishing Tackle Unlimited is my my retail sponsor. Riding for I'm representing Old Town for them. Z-Pro Lithium again, Pure Fishing. If anybody from Yak Attack is listening, don't listen to all the cuss words.
oh shit.
He froze. He froze. Yak Attack. Listen, I'm going to take the time. Sponsor us. Fuck this guy. Sponsor us. He's frozen.
We don't ever freeze.
What the
Look,
fuck? He froze.
He is froze too.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Oh, he's froze. Shit.
Hey, while he's froze, Alex, while he's froze,
yeah.
Are you fishing this weekend?
I'm fishing tomorrow, actually. Yeah.
Look at you. Get to have 3 days off. Oh, shit.
Listen.
He just texted me and said lost power. He's
he wasn't powering his garage off Z-Pro.
I know. Shit. See, that's what happens when he puts his damn shit.
Oh my God, he really did drop out.
He lost power, bitch. It dropped him out. He's got to come back on. Look, if he was over there relying on that Texas Power and Light shit, and now if he had the batteries hooked up. So you're going fishing tomorrow. What are you going?
I am.
What are you looking for?
The last time I went out, which was last Sunday, they started to move up.
So you're gonna be bass fishing heavy then? You start to get, are you pre-spawn? You starting to get some spawnies?
No, we're not spawning yet. So the water's still a little bit cold. So I think by the time I go out, we've had to warm up this whole week. So we should start moving. They should. So I saw some big girls with fat bellies last Sunday, where like these fish were like 3.5 pound fat girls, to where when I pulled them up, they're spitting eggs out. So we're starting to get there, but I still was picking off bucks. So with this whole week pushing by, continuing the warm up, right? We've had a 6-degree change in water temp from Sunday to our time recording right now. So hopefully they're gonna be
heavy soon then.
Hopefully, but like the river is super weird right now, and I found out a couple weeks ago it's because they dredged where I fish. That's normally where all these fish spawn at. That's why everybody's really bored with riding the tide, because I'm fishing this one area, but that's because literally they all spawn in this one area. It's super easy fishing, actually. But, well, I mean, it can be frustrating. It's hard, but they're there if you can get them. So I'm going to have to push off. It can't be as shallow. But no, yeah, it's going to be bass fishing. It's going to be swim jigs and flick shakes for days, just like I normally fish. I'm fucking excited. You know what I'm going to do different? While we wait to see if Chris comes back on, I'm not bringing a fucking camera out.
Hey, the last time I went fishing before this weekend, I set the camera up. You know, I've got the motor and stuff, and the motor is a pain in the ass because of how I had it set up. I didn't have everything run because I didn't want to start doing permanent shit until I figured out what I wanted. So it's been an ever loving pain in my ass loading up and unloading. And it's been a fucking pain in my ass.
Dude, I've got a whole
finally.
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was gonna say I finally got everything set up.
Yeah.
But this last damn tournament, it's just all the fucking shit, man. But you know, when I'm on the water, having that motor is wonderful. If I want to go run 4 miles, I can go at 5.5 miles an hour with the motor pedaling, and I'm not working my ass off. And you know, I can get back and not have to worry about that shit. But man, God dang.
For me with the cameras, like I have Sunday's trip. I haven't even put it on the computer. It's still sitting on the SD cards.
So you're like me now. Fuck them
well,
videos.
I mean, but I actually caught fish, and I want to get them out. And this one, I'm like, well, I'm gonna feel obligated. It's just gonna like work is so crazy right now. Nobody gives a shit, but I'm gonna tell you what, this is It's awesome. It's exciting for me because this is something I didn't know I could do. It's a cool new career, but it takes a lot out of me. So I don't know. I'm gonna be slower with putting out videos. So like I'll have my phone with me. I'll do some TikToks. I'll do some I'll shoot some B-roll, do some like talking over the B-roll shit that I did before because I think that's easier for me to put out. But I'm excited to go out with no camera. Like I've got my phone there. I might take one GoPro just in case I catch a big one so I can like throw it on a mount. But
before I got off track talking about some bullshit. Yeah, I left the camera this last time and it was one less thing that I had to, it was two less things. I didn't have to take the battery, didn't have to take the camera, didn't have to set that shit up.
Well, I'm carrying two in my boat too. Like I carry the chest in the back. Yeah.
But this other camera, I'm always hollering at it. Fucking stop recording. Stop recording.
Yeah,
that
I'm
bitch
over
can't
it.
understand me.
No. Tomorrow I'm gonna put headphones in. I'm gonna fucking do my thing for like 4 hours after a long work week. But what's even longer is how long it took for fucking Chris to come back. I think this is the first time,
dude. I lost fucking power.
Yeah, maybe be at a better state. I don't have to fucking tell you.
Fucking no. See, look, I broke out my fucking 360 light back here, so I can.
Yo, he's got Z Pro. So now he hooked his computer up to Z Pro. He's ready to go.
Hey, I'm very disappointed you didn't holler out Drew and the Paddler's Playbook as
that's all right.
Somebody who sponsors you, because I know he buys all the food, all the bait, and pays for all your entry fees.
Yeah. Well, I was
shout the Paddler's Playbook out. I'm disappointed in you.
I was getting around to Turner Rodco when the fucking power went out. But
that's the other one. Yak Attack is where you broke off. So
no, don't worry about it. Nope, don't even worry about it. We already sniped that. We said Yak Attack, fuck that guy. We have power. You're gonna sponsor us, so you can move on from Yak Attack. What do you got next?
Anyway, Turner Rodco, my brother's company, sponsors all my rods. And I think that's it for now. Anyway, like I say, if anybody from Yak Attack's listening,
nope, we already talked about Yak Attack. Nope.
We said it
first. Nope, I said it first. I called dibs. I licked the fucking Panfish Pro. It's done.
Yep. So we will be the first out of this group, Alex and I and you, to not get a Yak Attack sponsorship.
Yeah.
We'll be the first ones
fucking way. There's no fucking way. All right.
I don't know if I'll have any more sponsorships after this.
Yeah. As a fan of the show,
you're either about to get all the sponsors or lose everyone you got. Even your brother might drop you after this.
All right. You know how this works. It's going to be a rapid fire set of questions because it is. You ready, Paul?
Yeah.
Hit it.
No. Oh, sorry. Shit. Fuck. Hold on. All right. Do it again, Alex.
Because it is the patent pending Bass and Brews shotgun round. Man. All right, man. We're going to hit you with a series of rapid fire questions. No explanation. We'll ridicule you later. First up, Crocs or flops?
Slides, motherfucker.
What? You
Slides.
wear.
So the very first question. Hold on. The very first question, we said nothing fucking extra. Just answer it.
I don't fucking wear either.
You gotta pick fucking
You have
one.
to choose one.
Okay, Crocs.
There you go.
If I'm not on the fucking kayak though.
Oh my God, he's terrible at this.
Fucking
Drew,
guy.
Drew, if you're listening this late into this,
he's not listening. He's not listening.
He quit after he. Yeah, go ahead.
Texas or wacky?
What the fuck is that?
Exactly. That's a good answer.
That's the answer I expected from this.
Me too.
Yes. This is a saltwater guy, so that's relevant. We'll accept that.
I've heard of both. I couldn't tell you how to rig either one.
Well, from what I've heard of the Turner boys, let's talk about food. Are you putting pineapple on pizza? Yes or no?
No, absolutely not.
God,
man.
Damn you. Are you putting pineapples on tacos? Yes or no?
Absolutely not. Also,
yeah.
Look,
you know what I'm putting? You know what I'm putting pineapples on?
What's that?
Pineapple. That's about the only thing I'm eating with fucking pineapple is pineapple.
My buddy from Texas when you ask him what he eats, if he eats vegetables, he's like, "No, I eat meat, potatoes, and salsa."
So,
Yeah, pretty much.
He would say, "My only vegetables I eat are salsa. Salsa's a vegetable."
are you
Pico.
going to spend more on a rod, or are you going to spend more on a reel?
A reel, just because I get them from the bro, man.
He
Yeah.
gets the rods for free.
Yep, I get
I
them.
mean, a saltwater guy.
I get them
I
at
think-
cost.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You're fishing for 4 hours. You want 5 2-pounders or 1 7-pounder?
1.7.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to remember all these questions.
Oh my God, geez, God Almighty! How the
forget
fuck
'em.
do you still not? You make
Hey,
it. I,
hold
mm,
on. Timeout. So
Spinach.
hold on. We've been doing spinach. That's a perfect answer. So we've been doing these questions for coming up on 2 years, right? And most of the questions we've had some additions, right? But I'm thinking, and I want the Brewski input. So hit us up on our email, all the socials. What do you guys think about us kind of restarting these questions with new ones?
Oh
And
my
if we
God.
do restart them, what do you want them to be? So you guys send
This
that
is
in.
the first time I'm hearing of this shit, and I'm gonna
Yeah, it's
tell
the first
you.
time I even thought of it.
Yeah, well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you, fuck no, you hell no, dude. Why are you trying to change the shot? The one thing out of this podcast that is consistent, besides
wanna
it
know why?
starting and ending,
Yeah.
is you trying to change the
No.
shotgun
You wanna
round
know
where we
why?
get the best answers to the
Nope.
whole damn podcast. This is
Yeah,
why people
but
listen to this
hold on.
bitch to the end.
Yeah, but we have so many fans of the show that we bring on as guests. So Chris just proved it when he said spinach. Like he already knows what the end game is. We're not getting the
Bro,
shock reactions anymore.
Half of our guests have never listened to the podcast because
You're
they
right.
get to the
That's
questions
half.
and they don't
Then
even
we
know.
save the OG questions
No.
for the
Oh
people
my
that
God.
don't know the show.
You won't- you're making-
Anyways.
So
Hey.
you have a real job now. You're trying to make this shit too complicated.
Hey,
Alex, quit trying to fuck up the shotgun round.
Chris,
You know what?
Do you eat
That was for you, Sean the fisherman.
Do you eat largemouth bass?
Absolutely.
Good
My
deal.
man.
Fuck yeah.
Speaking of eating, do you eat beaver?
No, never eaten beaver.
Okay.
Y'all have beaver down there. You need to get your buddy. I know y'all do trapping down there. Do y'all have nutria where you are?
Oh yeah, yeah. We've got
Have you eaten
nutrients.
nutria?
No, dude.
I heard it.
I'm
I
not,
heard it.
I'm not too adventurous, man. I'm not
Yeah.
too adventurous in the things that I eat.
Just Bucky's tacos. That's it.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
I
I'm
call
glad
it
Lupe
Boosie's.
down at the corner store.
You're on the way to the water. Is it going to be hype music or slow jams?
High music.
How about on the way home?
I'm taking a nap because Drew's driving.
Oh, I was about to say, hold on.
Drew's driving. I'm taking a nap, dude.
Was Drew driving when you blew out that hub?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was
All right.
rolling solo that day.
Solid. Yeah, never roll solo, obviously.
Well,
Right.
yeah, you were talking about you were driving at 4:00 in the morning, and we all know Drew does not get up that early to go
No.
fishing.
Nope.
He says he likes an afternoon bite because it's a morning bite to him.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Man, that was really mean, Drew. I just made that up, Drew. I'm sorry. You're wonderful. I love your soundboard way more than Paul. I wish you would quit your successful podcast and become the replacement for Paul for this shitty one. All right, you know the deal. We are at the precipice of this. There's a really long pause there. Anyways, every
Hey,
good fisherman.
Alex,
Yeah.
spell precipice.
It's Fuckyou.
Okay.
Yep.
Close enough. You
Yep.
missed the P.
Oh,
Close enough.
I never miss the P. Anyways, every good fisherman
You hit
loves
it
a great
twice.
sandwich. What are your top 3 sandwich proteins?
Not spinach. We'll start with that. I'm going ham.
Solid, classic.
I'm going turkey,
Yep, can't beat it.
and I'm going some roast beef.
Fuck yeah, all solid choices.
Hey, I'm gonna add one question to the end of this.
Oh, wait.
On
No,
the shotgun
fuck
round.
you, Paul.
Nope,
You
nope.
can't fucking add anything. This is what people want.
Nope.
They want you to be
Chris,
consistent.
last question of the shotgun round. Who do you choose to go fishing with you, Jabberhammer or Alex?
Welcome to the Bass and Brews podcast, your weekly distraction from other high-quality podcasts. And now, your host, Alex from Swamp Rat Fishing, and the co-host